One of the key ways to stay focused, if you're somebody who is a writer like myself, it is hard to stay focused on your craft if you're so concerned about society. Unless you're somebody that is like, shit, I'm all about myself. Like, I don't care what everybody else got going on, what's going on in the world. I'm all about myself. If you have that, yes, there is a shadow side to that. But in this case, it's also a gift because when you are solely focused on what's going on in the world, it is hard to get what you have to get done. And if you are somebody who is very empathetic, you have that empathy gift, you are you have a lot of empathy for the collective. Um and I advise for you not to watch the news as much. I don't watch the news as much because you will really feel it. You really feel it when it comes to seeing things that is disheartening, right? So when you are an empath who is also a writer like myself, um, it can be quite difficult to stay on your path when you see this person is getting hurt, that person is getting hurt, this is what's happening here, this is what's happening there. And with social media, it really amped up the news. It's like on steroids because this is all you can possibly see. This is all that would go into your algorithm because you just can't help yourself. But you have to stay focused. You have to, do what you have to do. You can't help the world unless you help yourself, right? And in retrospect, that is also dark philosophy because once you realize that you have to help yourself, you can't help everybody else. The world is going to be what it's going to be. You have to go into that rabbit hole, that deep truth. Dark philosophy is all about going deep until you find that truth. And it is what it is, and there's no way around it. It's really hard to pivot the truth. And you have to accept it and be like, okay, like this is what it is. So with that, the whole, you can't help the world until you help yourself. That, there's some dark philosophy there because as much as you want to help others, especially when you see that other people don't really want to get help like that, that's a hard pill to swallow, a very hard pill, especially if you have a big heart. But besides from all that, one of the key ways to stay focused for me, I find, is creating a world where I'm constantly in a fantasy. So on my other channel, I talk about astrology and stuff. So I'm not going to really bring that onto this channel, but I will say that I am a Pisces, and Pisces are very imaginative and all that stuff, dreamy. So I had no issue of figuring out what it is that I need to do to stay focused. And right now, I am creating a fantasy world on my desk to where when I sit down next to my laptop, all I see is just fantasy. It puts me into that writing mode. It puts me in another world, and I'm just so zoned in. And so far, that has been helping me a lot. Like a lot of things that I was observing and seeing, it really sidetracked me. Like I published my first book back in December of 2023. I had written a darker version of a Cinderella story. I got it up on Amazon. I have yet to make my own website, which I still need to do. I'm in the middle of wrapping up editing part 2. I have an editor who's helping me, and she's helping me for free because she loved my first book so much that she wanted to help me out for free. Um, but that could have been published a long time ago. But I got so sidetracked of the world and people and wanting to help. And ugh. Also, I'm in the middle of writing a horror story. So I got so many things on my plate. I have no time to be sidetracked. So I have to really lean into this being about myself, not worrying about what the rest of the world got going on. Is going to do what it's going to do regardless. I can't help people unless I help myself. So I gotta lean into that and really be about my craft and what I'm doing. So what I'm about to show here is some of my setup, and it's not quite done yet because it's only the beginning of what I'm doing. So if you see here, I have like a caterpillar um incense holder. It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, that caterpillar. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and it's still one of my favorite movies. I have that, a frog. I have mushrooms set up. I had created this river flow. Um, as you can see, I have this uh, Mother Gaia with the smoke coming down, and I try to make it seem like that's where like the river flow is coming from, that waterfall of the smoke and all that. I have a ferry right next to Mother Gaia. I have like this path right next to the ferry, another mushroom, and right here is like, this is my, I call it the house of mystique and beauty, because this is where I put a lot of my energy in, like the crystals, my jewelry, my handmade, homemade, um, perfume oils, all that stuff. My little, whatever I pull from like my tarot cards and my oracle cards, I'll leave it underneath for like a good week or two, um, before shuffling out like a new message and all that. And across from that, I have like my other stuff. But I want to add a little bit more to this, not too much because I don't want to overcrowd my desk. But I definitely want to take this fake plant away and put like a tree, like a fake tree. Um, and on top, I have some other stuff which I'll show like another time. I'll do like a full, in like the near future, I'll do a full on show of what my whole desk looks like because I have so much going on. It's a lot, but it keeps me so focused. It keeps me so focused that I don't really think too much about what's going on in the world. Not that not that I am not that self-centered. I do, here and there see what's going on. It's not, to me, it's a balance to things. It's a balance to things. Um you have to you got to know what's going on around you to a degree, so you won't be so naive to things. But at the same time, you have to find the balance to focus on what you're doing. And I find that for people, it's very hard to find that balance because it's like, it's like pick a side, right? But there is a balance to things. And I'm going to talk about that whole picking a side in another video. I My understanding of that from a dark philosophy perspective. But yeah, so when it comes to being about your craft, you got to create a world, a fantasy, something to get you, focused on yourself. I know a lot of artists throughout time, what they did was drink and smoke. A lot of famous artists, poets always end up drinking and smoking to, get whatever they got to get done. Me, I don't drink and I don't smoke. So the best way for me to find that place where I can be so focused on what I got to do is I have to create a fantasy world. I have to be in it and live it so I don't be so sidetracked all the time. So this is a great alternative to, doing this rather than drinking and smoking, in my opinion. But that's all I have for this video. I hope this brings about some type of inspiration for yourself, aspiration, whatever, to get whatever you got to get done, because the more you think you can help everybody, the less you don't help yourself. And the thing is, you may care about the world, but another hard pill to swallow is the world don't really give a fuck about you. So when you understand that, you move accordingly, differently, and smart.